It looks like a swallowtail. Like a tiger swallowtail. And it won't stay still. Oh, where'd it go? Oh. Well, I think that's the best I can do. Whew. It appears to be rug washing day. Welcome to Park Lane Harbor. Ooh, here's a nice one. I like that. Puppy. Oh, get my hair done. Puppy, puppy. Okay, you have not lived in China until you get your hair washed and blow dried. It is amazing. Not only do they wash it twice and condition it and make it look fabulous, it lasts for 2 days looking fabulous and still looks okay on the third day. And the best part though, the very best part is you get like a 20-minute scalp and neck massage. It is amazing. And they even clean out your ears. It's just so good. Okay, here's our prom fit. We're going with a little black dress look. Oh. Can't really see the rock from this view. Oh. So nice. Why is a big ship out there?
Here for a few minutes, we're waiting for the event to start. So we'll have a drink and like a beer.
It's like a nice event.
I'm not sure, she just got a cook, so I'm not sure what she wants.
Prom photos. Oh, beautiful. Oh, love it.
I love it.
Yeah.
What?
Group photo time. So pretty. Funny, my boyfriend came down to the cop bureau while I was frantically making this stack of copies for 6th grade. And also frantically cutting out planetary shapes for kindergarten. And I said, you better go somewhere else. Hello. So I think today I am just going to ramble for a few minutes about stereotypes. And this has just been on my mind after answering my Q&A questions, which were all fabulous. They were completely fabulous questions, but a lot of them dealt in superlatives and things like the best, the worst, the biggest difference, things you assumed. And I had to be careful answering a lot of those because I did not want to stereotype the Chinese people. I don't want to stereotype anyone. So I have been an ESL teacher for like almost a quarter of a century now. And I myself have had stereotypes about the different populations that I worked with. And I've worked with a large variety of populations, many Asian countries, a lot of Latin countries, and Indian populations, which are also Asian countries. Just, you know, a different cross section. I guess what I'm saying there is it's a big, big world, and it's not good to stereotype people based on where they come from, because where they come from is huge. Like, I'm from the United States, and we get stereotyped, okay? Other countries stereotype us. And you know that those Floridians are crazy, so you don't want to be labeled like a Floridian. But I'm a Floridian. I'm a native Floridian. And I know my people, okay? I don't necessarily vote the way a large majority of Floridians vote, but I understand where they're coming from because I know them. And I guess that's the important thing here, is getting to know people. For example, I used to buy into that stereotype that, you know, all Chinese were good students and great in math. And then I got 2 students from China one year while teaching ESL, and they were juniors and seniors in high school. Their parents forced them to come to the States, and one of them left a girlfriend back home, and they didn't want to be there. They were not good students, and they told me that school in the United States was boring. And I'm like, oh, why? Why is school here boring? I thought, you know, it'd be because of what we were teaching, wasn't, you know, academic enough or something. I don't know. I had assumptions, okay? No. It was boring because we didn't have enough fights. True story. They had gone to a public school in China. I don't even know where. China is huge, y'all. It's huge. But yeah, wherever they had been going to school, I said, how many fights did you have there? He said, oh, at least 1 every day, if not 2. I'm like, God, that's crazy. And you know, if you're living in a country outside of the U.S., you might think that our school systems are violent. You might. But they're not. I mean, I taught in Tennessee for 21 years, public school system, and we didn't tolerate fighting. It was very, very rare. And I mean, you know, okay, it depends on your perception of rare. I don't even think there was one a week, though, honestly. But, you know, again, listening to me, you might stereotype Tennessee. And I actually was teaching in several schools, but in a rural county that was also affluent. So rural folks don't tend to tolerate misbehavior. I'm stereotyping again. Rural folks that I know. And it was a more affluent society. And again, you know, stereotypes. It's just so easy to fall into that. But what I'm saying is, where I was, we didn't have much fighting. And where these boys were, they had a lot. And I guess you also need to get into your mind that stereotypes are anchored in time and place. So as it was saying, you know, all of these different locations and different factors play into people. And so we're all different based on where we are and where we've come from and when we were raised, okay? When? Like, a lot of us of a certain generation, my generation, watched 16 Candles growing up. And if you base your perception still of Chinese people on Long Duk Dong, you're getting it wrong, okay? Because the 80s were a really long time ago. And that stereotype was old when the movie was made. So, and again, stereotypes are false. False. We're all different. And I think the more I get out and about in this world, the more I realize that we're also all the same. For example, I had a lovely conversation with my coworker that I share a room with this week. She has got a newborn. He's not so newborn now. He's, 5 or 6 months old. And he's going to have his first birthday in October. Sorry, I'm sweating. Mom's super excited. And I had to share my son's birthday is also in October, and my kid's pushing 20. So it's really a really cute similarity dichotomy going there, you know. So like I said, I think I said she is from India. She's from India, and so looking forward to taking her son, the first grandchild, home for the holidays, summer vacation, and seeing the grandparents for the first time and being home for the first time in 4 years because hello, COVID. Super exciting time, but she's planning ahead to his first birthday party, and she was talking about having Diwali themed birthday party, and that's the festival with all of the colors. So fun. And I told her, yeah, I did the same because my son's birthday in October, I used to tag it up with Halloween. So we shared, you know, culturally some things there. And yes, there are cultural norms, you know, things that are inherent in our cultures that make us different, but also that make us the same. So it's important to start understanding the difference between stereotypes and cultural norms, and even limiting, you know, our application of cultural norms to an entire nation, because the United States is huge, India is huge, China is huge. It's just so vastly different. So, ways you can break out of stereotypes is by traveling, obviously, and getting to know people firsthand, even within your own country. I've been taking my son to visit all 50 states. I think we're on number 32 now. And that's just been such a great way to get to know our own nation. We also went to all the state parks in Tennessee, and even that got us out of our own shell and out to see the people and get to know them, the ones we live with. I have been super fortunate to teach people from all around the world. So, you know, when my son was born, I promised him a stable upbringing, the same stability that I had. And I knew that that was harder as a single mom. So I vowed to keep him in the same school system for his entire public school career, which I managed to do. I just loved that for him. But I also was able to feed my desire for diversity. Like, I've always longed to explore the world and the people in the world and the places in the world. So I was able to do that as an ESL teacher because I had students from everywhere. Over the course of 25 years, you better believe, everywhere. And that was just so amazing. I got the honor of going to a wedding for a girl from India. And it was just beautiful, just so beautiful. All sorts of things like that. International Thanksgiving, my students would bring food from their home countries and we would share it together, and just such an amazing experience. But, you know, obviously you can travel the world. Obviously you can do this. The cost factor is limiting, so, you know I could not do that for the longest time. I wanted to as a kid, but I couldn't afford it. So maybe you can save up and go somewhere. Maybe. I hope you can. But you can travel the world in your own community. A lot of churches host ESL classes, so you can assist with learning English in your own community. Or immigrant services, you know, hosting families that move to this country. Universities. Universities have often buddy programs with ESL where if you sign up to volunteer, they will pair you up with a student or a spouse of a student or, even children of students that are wanting more English language immersion. And you'll just meet up with them once a week or once every other week, whatever you decide on, and chat and get to know another person. You don't have to know anything. You don't have to be a teacher. You just have to be open to meeting people. So yeah, you just get together, meet up somewhere and talk, and, help them learn English, help them learn your country, and get to know your society. Schools, you might contact your school. You probably would have to go through some processes to volunteer with the school itself, but a lot of times the ESL program either asks for ESL or ELL. That's in the States. I don't know what they're called in other countries, but a lot of times they'll have after school conversational English for parents of students, and they would probably welcome you there fairly easily. So yeah, and then your community. So a lot of festivals going on. Obviously, food trucks. Food trucks are great. Flea markets. There are a lot of flea markets. That restaurants, get to know, become a regular at your local Colombian restaurant or your local Ethiopian restaurant, and just get to know those people. If you start showing up once a week, once every 2 weeks, and make a point of asking about their lives, you'd be surprised how open people are to that, and making connections that way. But festivals like Diwali festival, all of the different cultures within the States have big festivals, and then they tend to have their own festivities, and the public is welcome to those. And even, I'm going to branch out into people that we already know, that we need to get to know better. Not just ethnic diversity, but diversity within our own people. So, the African American community is going to be celebrating Juneteenth coming up. And, if you're living in Florida, they need your support. The book banning thing is next level ridiculous there. And several other communities, mostly throughout the South, I believe. So Juneteenth is, I think bigger in the Southwest. I'm thinking Texas, but I think it's spreading to the nation as a whole. Pride Month is coming up, and these friends also need our support. So get out there and become a part of your community, and not just your own community that you feel comfortable with, but branch out into places where you maybe don't feel quite as comfortable, or you would like to become more comfortable and get to know more people, because the more you know others, the more you realize that we're all the same and we need to be supporting each other. Yes, we have our differences, but we also have commonality in that. All of us feel isolated in some way, and the more we branch out and become united in our human kindness, the more we feel supported, and the more we're able to support others. So that's my TED Talk today. I've been watching a lot of TED Talks in chemistry this year, you better believe. But anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow because it's May 29th here, and I got 3 more days to go with my daily posting. Maybe Maymas is we're almost there. Completion. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. So see you tomorrow. Bye.